thespians, welcome to my channel. My name is Riala Bogapetlele. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of this part of my journey. As you know, now I'm going to be focusing on giving tips, advice, and educational videos regarding the entertainment, or rather the acting industry, mainly in South Africa. But if you're from other parts of the world, this should also apply to you. So today, my darlings, thespians, I am going to be talking about something that freaked me out. As you know, I'm not famous yet, but I've been on set as an extra. You know, I've shadowed, and I'm currently working on my project, and I noticed that they speak a foreign language on set, and I was like, ew, what are they saying? And like, it's obviously when you are not starting, but as an actor, whether you're starting, it's important for you to know this. You don't want to slow down production just because you don't know some terms that they're using. And please check out my video, if you haven't checked it out, my previous video about starting a career, an acting career in South Africa, and those should be some very helpful tips for you. So just to bring light to a couple of jargons that you might encounter, this is what this video is going to be about. This is not all of it. There's a lot, and I'm sure I'm still yet to discover some new terms as I continue to like progress in this career. And apparently for different productions they use different words, but I just decided to make this video in case you do come across some of these terms, you actually understand what they're saying, you know. So without any further ado, alright, so the first thing that you should encounter when you come onto set, this is not really a jargon, particular jargon that they do use on set, but one thing that you will come across when you get onto set, when you get into your dressing room, is a call sheet. So what is a call sheet? A call sheet is a document that lists out everything that's going to be taking place on the day or throughout the entire production. So a call sheet will have information about the locations where you're going to be shooting at, the call out time, what time you need to be on set, or you know, weather, a list of scenes that you're going to be shooting on that day. So that is they basically call it the Bible. You should keep up to date with that so that you don't miss your time and you don't waste everybody's time, and you should know where you should be at what time in order for it to be a successful and quick event. Another thing that you should look out for is something called a side. A side is basically is like your script, right? But it's only the scenes that you're going to be shooting for the day, and it's mandatory to look at it because sometimes they might make adjustments to like your dialogue or the words that you're going to be saying. So or the scene order. Just make sure that you go through your sides before going onto set. Base camp is another term that they use on set, which refers to where, you know, wardrobe and makeup is done, because you know you have where you shoot in the production, but then like base camp is where you get ready as the actor or actress. A trailer or a dressing room, that's where you get dressed or wait for your scene to be shot. I mean, not all scenes are shot at the same time. Sometimes like some people they're busy shooting their scene, and then you need to wait out for you to be called out, for you to leave your wardrobe. So that's where you're going to be sitting at until you're called out on set. Wired is also another term that they use on set, like an assistant director or whoever will say, are you wired? Let's get you wired. That means they're just going to wire your microphone around your body. Usually it's inside or your ankle, your back, or whatever. So yeah, wired just means attaching a microphone to your body. First and second team. First team refers to the principal actors that have lines in that production. Second team refers to those that need to set up the scene. So if they say first team, that means, and you are an actor and you have lines, that means they're referring to you. That means you must congregate wherever who's calling you. And then second team will refer to the people that have to like set up the scene and stuff. If they say second team and you're in first team, that means they're not calling you. These are also the people that would like set up the lights or like have to block the scenes if actors need to rehearse. Then you have 10-1 and 10-2. 10-1 refers to when you need to go to the bathroom and make a number one, basically. 10-2 means doing a number two. It's just a euphemism for just wanting to go to the bathroom, you can't tell people that I need to go pee. That's weird. And then you have a slate or a clapper. It's not something that they would usually say, but you usually see before a movie they'll have that. That means you have to keep quiet for that time. That is used to like sync all the sound and the cameras, so that when you record it's not like weird vibes. So yeah, just be careful when you see that. You must keep quiet. Point is another term that they will usually yell out on stage, which means that you must be on the lookout for the crew carrying like heavy equipment. Usually, on set there will be people handling heavy equipment such as cameras, poles, and all the things, lights, so you just need to be on the lookout for someone who will say point, 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 point. Somebody that might get injured if you're carrying something very long. You most of the time can't see in front, so like you just need to be on the lookout when somebody else points. Lunch, it means that it's a meal that you take 6 hours before you've started. So lunch could be before the actual lunchtime, which is usually 12:1, but when you've started work at 8, you have to count 6 hours from the time you started working. So if you have started at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you'll have lunch at 8 p.m. So it refers to 6 hours after you start working. It usually mainly applies to like union workers if you're a part of an actors union, and that's something that you should know. Some directors will be like, give me a banana, which means that you should walk like a banana from wherever you were shooting, and then you just walk a bit. So usually it has to do with like camera angles, so the director can get their desired angle shot of whatever scene that you're going to be playing. If you hear the term striking, that means you must be just on the lookout for like lights. That means a person who's working in lighting, they are putting on a light, and sometimes those lights are very harsh. So to avoid you looking directly into those lights, they will say striking. So look down or something, so that you don't find yourself getting like exposing your eyes to that harsh light and damaging your eyes. One is a term that directors will use if they want to start the scene at the beginning. All actors and crew must take their initial position where they were. If you were moving in the scene, that if you were moving from point A to point B or to C, you need to go back to point A. So that means maybe the director is going to be retaking that shoot back to your first position or from the top of the scene. Room tone is a term that will probably be used like at the end. When I've been on set a couple of times, they would say that at the end, if they want to capture like the natural sound of the room, it helps them like just neutralize the sounds. And usually when you're on set and you're like a background or whatever, you cannot make a sound. Like even if you're eating, make sure that fork does not touch the plate, That's why sometimes when you look at extras, like extras actually fascinate me. Look at what extras do. They're not actually really doing, especially the ones in SA. Like if they are like, digging, they're not really digging. They're not really digging, and it's so funny. So you're not really allowed to make that sound, but usually after everything has been shot, they would say room sound, or like then they will capture all the sounds, and you're allowed to laugh, you're allowed to like toast if you're in a bar or whatever, and make like proper natural sounds for them to. They know how to do it. I don't really know how it works, but like they find a way to like reduce that actual sound, because I think if the sounds are together, it's going to be hard for whoever's editing to neutralize the sounds of the people, the sounds that the people are making, because that will also compromise the sound of like the actual dialogue that's taking place on the set. Martini shot basically just means they're taking the last shot of the day. It's like Martini, we can finally go out for drinks because we are done, it's been a long day. So when they say Martini shot, that means they are taking the last shot of the day. Moments away is something that will usually also be screamed out by an AD or director or whatever. It basically just indicates to the actors and the crew that they are moments away from actually shooting whatever you need to. If you are like on set, or you're walking onto set, or you're walking off to set, and you're going to pass a camera, you need to say crossing. Apparently it's really annoying for the camera workers to be seeing people walk on in front of the camera like that. So it's important for you to be saying crossing before you cross the camera. Quiet on set. If you hear that, that means you must be quiet on set. You cannot make any movement, any sound. It can literally spoil everything, because these microphones, they pick up everything. So you don't want to be responsible for people having to redo their work from the beginning. Just be quiet. Standby means be on standby, hold your position, be ready to get into your scene, be emotionally ready, and be ready to start with the scene. A cheat is something that a director will say, like, maybe, let me just take a cheat on you. It's a special shot where angles are used to get interesting shots of people or objects. So if you are in a cheated shot, you'll be asked to either like move to the side or manipulate your height or whatever, so that the director can get their desired shot. But in terms of the cheated sheet, you need to make sure that somebody actually instructs you where to stand or what to do, so that the director can get that angle. Dirtying the frame. Dirtying the frame and cheat is almost similar, but like dirtying the frame means that there was a part of a body or something that was in the frame that shouldn't have been there. So you may need to make adjustments to how you're standing or where you're placed for the director to get their desired shot. Key light. It's important for you to know where your key light is, because look at me. There's a lot of shadow behind me, but in a formal setting where you're shooting something, you need to know where to look. You might give a stellar performance, but because of lighting, that might just take away from your performance. So understand and know where your key light is, so that you're properly lit when you're delivering whatever you are going to be doing for that take. Craft services is where you, as the actor or anyone in the crew, it's not necessarily a term, but they'll be like this craft services. That's where you get your snacks and your drinks. It's not food, but then your catering, that's where you get your lunch and your meals. Clear the frame would be a term maybe called out by a director, indicating that you must clear the frame. Literally everybody must be out of the frame. Basically means that, and then they'll just take probably a shot of whatever room or location. When they call out rolling, that means the cameras are rolling and they're ready to film, so everyone must be quiet when they say roll. Those were quite a lot of terms. There are probably still a lot more, and I'm yet to discover more, but when I do, I will make an updated version of this episode. Thank you so much for joining. I do hope that you enjoyed and you learned something. Please give it a thumbs up if you did learn something, and comment, tell me if there's anything that I probably missed. Please make sure that you put it in my comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again on my next episode. Bye for now.